And God said, "Let there be
The
light."
Lord says, "Let my people go."
I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
This is the Talkin Bible podcast.
Hey folks, welcome again to Thursday's episode of Talkin Bible. We've been talking about women a bit. We're talking about Mary and Martha today, Jeff.
We are, right.
But not from John's Gospel, where they do appear a lot, but we're talking about it from Luke's Gospel. The only other reference to Mary and Martha outside of John's Gospel, I think.
I love Mary and Martha.
Yeah.
They're really interesting people.
Yes, indeed.
They've got a lot to do with our Lord Jesus, haven't they?
They sure do. More than we probably see in the Scriptures, actually.
Yeah, oh, well, no doubt.
There was a very close relationship, it says, with Jesus had with them. Yeah.
Rightio, so we're going to be reading from Luke chapter 10, starting at verse 38. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister's left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you're worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." What an interesting discourse.
Yes,
that is.
at multiple levels.
Is it a discourse? I don't know.
Yeah, a little conversation back and forth, yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting that the home, it says it's owned by Martha, her home.
A woman named Martha welcomed her into her home. Okay, yep.
Into her home.
Right.
Now, some people think that, or some scholars believe that Martha may have been widowed, and maybe it was her family home, and she sort of, her parents may have died, and she'd taken on the role as the matriarch,
which
of the family.
can happen and did happen in that culture. Yep,
and
especially if they had a bit of wealth behind them.
Yep, and Mary being her little sister,
that would be a possibility.
Living there.
Yep,
and also her brother.
Yes, Lazarus was part of that as well.
Well, we think he was probably living there as well. I don't know if that makes any difference to the story or not.
No, actually, you make an interesting point that it was Martha's home. Yeah, that's interesting. Funny how you just make assumptions. My assumption has always been that Lazarus, Mary and Martha lived together for whatever reason. We don't know. But that it was probably Lazarus as the brother who was the patriarch of the home.
Yeah, right.
I guess that could still fit this narrative because the woman, the senior woman in the home, it would be her home. Like even in the patriarchal ownership, he would do the business. He would be about that stuff. She would be about homemaking.
For sure.
But that's a valid point that the scholars did make a fair point there that, yes, sometimes there were women, especially in Roman culture, it was quite common for women to, widows to, if they had the wherewithal to be able to provide for themselves because of the family business or whatever, that they could maintain the headship of the home. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And as such, she would have been in charge of all the preparations, making sure
it all gets happening.
Jesus and a few of his mates, I guess, had come along and they were going to be staying there. So she was like, "Oh man, how am I going to feed all these people? I've got to make some beds."
That's right. I've got to do it all up, set it all up.
Yeah. And so she's running around doing all this stuff, and it kind of, as it goes along, she's getting upset with the younger sister,
Mary,
who's just sitting
Seems
there,
to be getting a free ride,
listening to Jesus. She's running around doing all this stuff. You can understand her being a bit upset.
Oh, I can. I call it Martha-ritis. I get it often.
You get it, do you?
Oh, I can be affected with Martha-ritis.
Yep.
How come I have to do all the work, Lord? They just get to sit there and do nothing, and it's not a healthy place to be.
Yep. True.
But
true.
I am conducive to Martha-ritis, not the opposite.
Yep. And she says, "Don't you care that she's not helping? Tell her to help me."
I'm just laughing because as a pastor, I get this a lot. This assumption that we as pastors somehow, do you get this where people come to you with their problem with someone else and they want you to tell the other person to fix it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I feel like, hey, it's not my responsibility here. You can sort yourselves out. I'm not taking sides in this. I get this so often in church life. Yeah. They don't ask you. They just tell you. They assume you agree with them and you have to fix it.
Yeah. But the Lord's answer, the way he says, Martha, Martha, it's like a real, the way he says it twice, it's a real sort of endearment, isn't it? You know?
This isn't a harsh rebuke. This is a soft invitation.
Martha, Martha, come here. Let me just, show you. What are you worried about? Don't worry. You're worried and upset about many things, which she obviously was. She had a lot of things to do, but only a few things are needed. Like, Jesus is probably thinking, look, I don't need the table to be spotless. I don't care if there's any crumbs on the floor or whatever.
I have a running joke that, barbecue chicken and chips will do the job. You don't need to go out. You don't have to go overboard for having people over for lunch on Sunday after church.
That's good. That reminds me, I've got to get a chicken on the way home too. We've got Connected Our Place.
Oh, you
tonight,
need chicken and chips for that then?
Yeah. Maybe not chips, but
not chips. Yeah,
that's a bit early for chips.
Yeah.
So Martha's, so Jesus is saying, come on, take it easy, Martha. It's all good. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. So he's saying that, look, there's no way I'm going to stop her from listening to what I'm saying here.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure you've got lots of things to say about this.
Yeah.
Let's start with Mary sitting at Jesus' feet.
Start there? Yep. Okay, so I'm assuming what you're leading me down the garden path there is to say that Mary sitting at Jesus' feet was a cultural no-no. Mm-hmm. Only Jewish men sat at a rabbi's feet, and the sitting at the feet was where they would sit and learn. So this was Jesus being radically egalitarian and inviting women into the place of what was traditionally a man's thing, which was showing that, it's open to all. The kingdom is open to all. Anyone, male, female, whoever wants to sit and listen can sit and listen. Yep. So there was a breaking of a cultural norm to make a point here. And I wonder if some of the disciples might have been thinking, what's she doing here? Because it just wasn't the done thing.
Oh, they would have been,
I will add, though, that Luke all through his gospel does this. He elevates women all the way through the gospel. Luke 7, I think it says, it's all these rich, wealthy women that were providing for Jesus on his ministry. Yep. All the way through, we see Jesus, we see Luke's narrative elevating. Let me put it this way. We see Jesus in Luke's narrative elevating women, and this is one of those times.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's where you wanted me to go, but
that's good. Yeah, I think it's a good thing for people to understand that, because she wasn't just sitting there listening to Jesus like we would do today, but it was actually she
was in a position of learning and it carried something with it. There's a beautiful little book called Sitting at the Feet of Rabbi Jesus. It's an easy read. I recommend it to anybody. It's written by two women, but the whole book is around understanding the Jewish context of Jesus' ministry. And it leads into things like this, but it shows you how rich Jesus' teaching is once you understand the Jewish context. It's a great little book, Sitting at the Feet of Rabbi Jesus.
He just changed things, didn't he, Jesus? He absolutely
upended the cultural norms.
Changed things. And without him, we wouldn't be where we are today, would we? Certainly in Australia, where we follow that Judeo-Christian
we wouldn't have it without Jesus' teaching. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Women would still be, it still took them a long time to...
Well, they're still not there yet, but we're a lot better than we were. Yeah. And you've only got to compare it with other cultures that don't have Jewish Judeo-Christian ethics, and you realise, or especially the Christian influence, you realise that there is still a lot of the patriarchy, a lot of abuse of women in those cultures. So while we're not there yet, we've come a long way. Yeah.
Right. And so Martha's choice to get everything prepared and everything... Jesus is not saying that's bad.
It's not bad, no.
It's not bad. It's good. It's a good thing to do because she loved Jesus.
Yeah.
She when we love Jesus, we I don't know. Let's put it like my wife will be doing today. We're having our connect group, so she's tidying up the house, getting it ready for Jesus,
which is a good thing to do.
Yeah, it is a good thing to do.
So this isn't advocating for laziness. The issue, the way I read this, see if you feel free to correct me. But the way I read this is it's not the work that was the issue that Jesus was taking with Martha. It was the attitude towards the work.
Yeah.
It was almost like she felt this workspace mentality of if I don't do this, Jesus won't be accepted, or I might be shunned, or what will people think of me, or all those kind of things. So it becomes very much almost a keeping up appearances mentality. So it's not advocating for laziness. By all means, we should work hard and strive to do things well, but we should be striving to do it out of honor to Jesus, not out of some fear of rebuke from Jesus or from others. I think that's when the mentality was the wrong way around. So I can see why she's huffing and puffing about Mary, because she's feeling like this is going to be a shambles. This is going to be a letdown. Jesus is going to be disappointed with this. Or what will people say about how we hosted them in our house and all those sorts of things.
Oh, yeah.
So it's her identity that's she's not satisfied and comfortable in her identity that she's accepted and loved just as she are. And Mary clearly was accepted in that. It wasn't that she wouldn't have advocated for doing the work, but she realized this is better right now. I'm accepted. I get the privilege of sitting and listening to Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the main point, isn't it? That she was trying to get Mary taken away from the good thing.
Yeah, the good thing, the best thing, the better thing, Jesus says.
The better thing,
the better thing. I think that's what's going on.
I'm sure Jesus probably invited her. No, you come on, Mary, Martha.
Totally.
You come and sit here next to your sister.
Well, I loved the way they did this on The Chosen. Of course, it's only historical fiction. But do you remember? Have you seen that episode?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's superb. The way they did the whole Mary and Martha scene was brilliant. And it was that. It was Jesus being a little bit cheeky. Jesus inviting her in, and she nodding sheepishly and going, "Yeah, okay, I know." And then pass around the dates to everybody, and it was like a teaching moment for everybody, and it was really well done. And there was no harsh chastisement, and it fitted to me with what I imagine the narrative is trying to tell us about how it happened. So it's worth watching that scene just to see how well it was done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, I think if we can kind of apply this to our modern day. What I was thinking of was like, if we're running a business or something and we're just striving to make it the best that we possibly can, try and striving for perfection all the time, or if we're trying to make our family perfect and we're running here, running there, whatever, and we're neglecting time with the Lord, it's not a good thing.
No.
It's not a good thing. I mean, it's on the outside it might look good. Oh, look at that guy. His business is doing so well. Look at their beautiful family. They're always dressed so perfectly.
The house is always perfect. The lawn's always mowed, etc., etc.
But we need to take time, do those things if that's...
Choose the better thing, though. Don't prioritise the performance over the presence of God.
Yes, that's right. And the presence of people too,
yes, the
really.
presence of others. That's a valid point, yeah.
So let's just... be intentional about putting some time in our days to just slow down a little bit and spend a bit of time.
Yep.
Living the Christian life.
Sitting at Jesus' feet. Yep. Learning from Him, letting Him change us.
Yeah.
Yet we need to be encouraged to engage in the discipleship life, and that requires us to slow down and sit with Jesus, not be so busy all the time that there's no time to spend with Jesus, spend in His Word. If we're saying we haven't got time to find 5 minutes a day to spend some time in God's Word or whatever, I get that. Even with I had 5 kids. I get, I didn't have time to spend an hour. I had to work commitments, all that sort of stuff. I didn't have time to spend an hour, but you can find 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If you can't find 5 minutes, you probably haven't prioritized the right things.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. And we can easily do it in church, can't we? We
totally.
just get so busy.
Yep.
Keeping the church running.
Totally.
And
become all about,
once again, we
become about performance.
Yeah.
We become about tying up all the things and caring for people and miss. As a pastor, we can do that. We can become about so focused on fussing around for others that we neglect our own sitting at Jesus' feet time. And the problem then is that eventually we can't care for others because we've got nothing of value to add.
And you get up and start preaching, you go, actually, I can't preach this because
I'm not living this.
I'm not living it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yep. And that's why I have this tendency to do this Martha-ritis thing where I get busy about the Lord's work. But I know there are periods in time, and I'm getting better at recognising it. But I used to need other people to recognize it. And I'm sure they still do, but I've learned some of those warning signs now. I get the physical warning signs. I know, okay, I've moved into workspace mentality here, or I've worked into task mode, and I've lost the relationship with Jesus.
Yep.
And it's very subtle, as it no doubt was for Martha. She thought she was doing the right thing.
Yep.
But she just needed that little direction to go, hang on, the better thing is me.
The better thing.
The better
I like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mary has chosen what is better.
Yep. Okay. All right. We'll
That's it
see
for
you
that.
later, Mary
All
and
right.
Martha.
See you, Mary and Martha. All right. Thank you. We'll talk to everyone tomorrow's episode. Last one for the week. See you then.
Bye.